Welcome to this exciting video where we explore the top 2 most valuable Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel coins that every collector hopes to find. These nickels may look like ordinary pocket change, but rare minting errors and limited production have turned a few of them into treasures worth thousands of dollars. Let's get started. First up, the Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel from 1979, a classic American coin that continues to fascinate collectors with its history, design, and charm despite being a common circulated piece. This particular coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark under the date. This Jefferson nickel belongs to one of the longest-running coin series in U.S. history. Designed by Felix Schlag, the coin honors Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his iconic home, Monticello, on the reverse. Even in circulated condition, the design still carries a strong sense of American heritage. On the front of the coin, you'll see the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson facing left. Although your coin is circulated and may show wear on the cheek, jawline, and hair, the overall design remains recognizable and timeless. The inscriptions on the obverse include, "In God We Trust," on the left and "Liberty," to the right of Jefferson's profile, followed by the year 1979. These inscriptions may appear a bit faded depending on how much circulation the coin has seen. Turning to the reverse, the center of the coin showcases Monticello, Jefferson's beautiful Virginia estate. On a worn coin, some details like the steps or columns may be faint, but the structure's outline remains clear enough to appreciate. Above Monticello, you'll find the phrase, "E pluribus unum," which translates to, "out of many, one." Below the building is the name Monticello, followed by 5 cents and United States of America. The coin is made of a copper-nickel alloy, giving it a silver-gray tone. In circulated condition, this color may look dull, with dark patches or light reddish-brown areas where the metal has aged over time. The 1979 no-mint mark nickel is not rare, as millions were produced. However, each circulated coin carries its own story, marked by decades of use in everyday American life. That adds a sentimental charm collectors appreciate. Your coin may have small scratches or worn edges, typical signs of circulation. These marks don't take away from the historical value but instead highlight the journey the coin has traveled. Jefferson nickels from this era are known for their durability, but the highest points of the design, such as Jefferson's cheek and hair, often show flattening first, which is a natural sign of long-term use. Even though the Monticello steps might be worn or nearly gone, collectors still enjoy examining these older nickels because they offer a glimpse into the minting quality of the late 1970s. The 1979 coin comes from a time when America was transitioning culturally and economically, making every coin from this period a tiny time capsule of the era. Coins without mint marks like this one represent Philadelphia's output, and Philadelphia struck a large share of the nation's nickel supply that year. The absence of a mint mark is normal for coins from this mint. The Jefferson nickel design remained unchanged from 1938 until 2004, making the 1979 edition part of the long traditional run before the series received a modern redesign. Even in circulated condition, the details of Jefferson's portrait carry elegance. The slight wear on your coin adds character rather than diminishing its charm. Collectors often enjoy comparing circulated coins to higher-grade examples, noticing how subtle details fade over time. Your 1979 nickel likely shows signs of honest use, which makes it interesting to examine closely. The reverse design has always been admired for its architectural beauty. Though worn, the Monticello image still reflects the artistic skill of Felix Schlag and the grandeur of Jefferson's estate. Nickels like this circulated heavily in the 1980s and 1990s, passing through countless hands. Each transaction adds to the story of the coin you now own. The luster would be mostly gone in circulated condition, replaced by a soft, matte finish typical of older nickels. This natural aging gives the coin a vintage feel. Some circulated coins may show slight discoloration or darkened areas, especially near the rims. These areas highlight the coin's exposure to the elements over many years. Even though it is not rare, the 1979 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark remains a popular piece among collectors looking to build complete Jefferson nickel sets. The readability of the date is an important feature for collectors. Even if slightly worn, the year 1979 should still be clear enough to identify easily. Monticello's name and the denomination lettering may show fading on circulated versions, but usually remain visible, helping preserve the coin's identity and beauty. This coin is often kept by collectors not for its market value but for its nostalgic and historical appeal. It represents everyday American currency at a time when cash transactions were far more common. If you tilt the coin in light, you may notice subtle textures caused by years of circulation. These textures give the coin a unique personality. Holding a circulated 1979 nickel is like holding a piece of American life from over 4 decades ago. It reminds us of the resilience of the coins we use every day, even when they seem ordinary. Whether found in change, a collection, or a family coin jar, this nickel is a tiny artifact that connects us to the past in a simple yet powerful way. So even though your Monticello Jefferson nickel from 1979 may not be rare, its history, design, and journey make it a fascinating coin to explore, appreciate, and share with other collectors. Next up, the Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel from 1995 with the P mint mark, a coin that carries decades of American history and still holds a timeless appeal even in circulated condition. This nickel comes from the Philadelphia Mint, which proudly places the P mint mark to the right of the portrait. This coin belongs to one of the longest-running series in U.S. coinage, first introduced in 1938 and designed by Felix Schlag. The Jefferson nickel has become one of the most familiar coins in American pockets, and the 1995 issue continues that legacy beautifully. On the obverse, the coin features the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson facing left. In circulated condition, the high points of his hair, cheek, and jawline often show gentle smoothing, giving your coin that classic aged look collectors recognize instantly. The inscriptions on the front include, "In God We Trust," on the left of the portrait and "Liberty" on the right, followed by the year 1995. These details may appear a bit softened due to circulation, but they remain clear enough to appreciate the craftsmanship of the design. The small P mint mark next to the date is an important identifier. While not rare, coins from the Philadelphia Mint help collectors trace the minting history of each year, making this little letter significant for those building sets. Turning to the reverse, the center of the design features Jefferson's home, Monticello, a neoclassical masterpiece. On circulated coins, details such as the dome, stairs, and columns may show signs of wear, but the overall structure remains recognizable and elegant. Above Monticello, the phrase "E pluribus unum" arches across the top, reminding us of the unity within diversity that defines the United States. Even if slightly worn, this motto still stands proudly on most circulated examples. Below Monticello, you'll find the building's name, the denomination, 5 cents, and the inscription, United States of America. These words can sometimes fade on heavily circulated coins, but on most 1995 nickels they remain readable. In circulated condition, the coin's color is usually a softened gray tone, common for copper-nickel coins that have been in pockets, wallets, and cash registers for years. You might also notice darker areas, light scratches, or signs of metal rubbing. The rim of the coin may also show small nicks or slight flattening, which are natural results of everyday use. These marks add character to your coin and reflect its life in circulation. The 1990s was a decade of change in America, and coins like this one were part of countless daily transactions. Your 1995 nickel may have passed through thousands of hands before reaching you, making it a small but meaningful piece of history. Collectors enjoy studying Jefferson nickels to observe how the design ages over time. Even in circulated condition, your coin retains its iconic appearance, making it an attractive piece for both new and seasoned collectors. The metal composition of the coin is 75% copper and 25% nickel, which gives it durability and a consistent color that remains stable even after years of circulation. This alloy is one of the most recognizable in U.S. coinage. Although the 1995 P. Jefferson nickel isn't rare, many collectors appreciate finding coins from this period because they represent the last decade before the nickel saw major design changes in the 2000s. Looking closely at the Monticello design, you may notice the softened steps or flattened dome. These worn areas show how the highest points of the reverse are often the first to show age, especially on circulated coins. Your coin's circulated condition gives it a classic vintage charm that brand-new coins lack. Each mark tells a story, adding character and authenticity to the piece. This Jefferson nickel is often collected for its historical value rather than monetary worth. Its true beauty lies in the story it carries and the design that has stood the test of time. Even though it may lack luster, circulated coins like yours still maintain a pleasant, even tone. The softened surfaces create a warm, well-used appearance that feels nostalgic. For many collectors, coins like this remind them of their childhood when nickels were frequently used for snacks, school lunches, and small purchases. These memories make circulated coins deeply meaningful. Jefferson's portrait, even when worn, remains one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. His thoughtful expression continues to represent leadership, wisdom, and American values. The craftsmanship of Felix Schlag is still visible in the smooth curves and balanced proportions of both sides of the coin. Even decades later, his design remains admired for its simplicity and elegance. When collectors examine circulated coins, they often look at how the wear patterns differ from coin to coin. Your 1995 P nickel may have unique wear marks that make it one of a kind. Some coins develop slight discoloration or toning along the edges or around the lettering, giving them a more aged and distinguished appearance. These subtle changes can make circulated coins visually appealing. This coin is a perfect example of how everyday objects can become historical artifacts over time. Something once used casually now carries stories and value for collectors. Whether found in spare change, through metal detecting, or in a family collection, a circulated 1995 P. Jefferson nickel still holds charm and remains a collectible piece of American history. The smooth texture that comes from circulation gives your coin a comfortable, familiar feel. Many collectors enjoy the tactile experience of holding a well-aged nickel. And finally, this coin remains a reminder that even the most ordinary objects can carry extraordinary stories, making your 1995 P. Jefferson nickel a piece worth appreciating, preserving, and showcasing in your collection.